Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to draw a Viking longship. And we're going to start with the basic outline of the ship. And so that means we're going to draw the bottom part and the tall parts of the ship. So first we're going to decide where on our paper we are going to place our ship. So I like to turn my paper so that parts of it are easier to draw for me, because that just works best for me. You can draw it however it works best for you. So I'm going to decide that I want my bottom of my longship to be about this far away from the bottom of my paper. And then I'm going to turn my paper again so that I can make this part rounded. Because remember, in the examples that I showed you, it had a curved edge. I'm going to repeat that. So you're going to repeat that step on the other side. Just like that. Just two rounded sides. Kind of looks like a rounded cylinder. Okay, now you're going to kind of make a hook on the one side. So you're going to come up and you're going to draw an opposite direction. Create half a swirl or a hook shape. You may turn your paper as you need to. Remember to draw in light pencil marks so that you can erase if you make a mistake. So come across the top, create the top edge. Remember, you're going to be erasing some of this. Now you want to create kind of a dragon head or an animal head. If you want to just do another swirl, that's fine. But it would be best if you would create some type of face on your longship. So we're going to, again, start with a hook shape. All right, so you're going to round this space up because you're going to use this to create the face of your dragon. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is going to be the neck of my dragon, or sea serpent, you know, whatever you want it to be. Okay. This part gets kind of, it's hard, but don't make it harder than it needs to be. Keep it simple. You're not going to be adding a whole lot of details. So, I'm going to do the back part of the head. So this is going to be the horn that's on the top. I'm going to make kind of like a fish wave. And then I'm going to come around here and create the bottom jawline of my dragon. I'm going to come up here, create kind of an eye space. And then I'm going to create a rounded shape inside here. So it creates the mouth. Inside where the eye shape is, I'm going to be adding an eye shape. Okay, so that is the basic design that I'm using for the head shape. I'm going to start adding in other important parts before we put too many details in and you can't add them in. In the center, you're going to draw a rectangle, and I already made mine too tall. And you're going to draw, this is where we're going to make the sail. So the sail has kind of a curved shape to it, so it looks like there is wind. It's a rounded square shape, so you can create a square shape if you need to, and then round it out this way. Since the wind is blowing this direction, this side needs to be curved in the same way as this side. Okay. I'm going to draw a floating line because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that in a second. I'm going to make a floating line across here, and this is the top of the mast. The reason I'm going to have it floating is I'm going to create it another wave shape so it looks like it is connected to that floating mast. Then on the top here, I'm going to draw the top part of my mast. I'm going to continue in between, about halfway in between each one of the kind of like wave shapes. I'm going to draw curved stripe lines to emphasize that this is blowing in the wind. Yours does not have to be perfect. Mine's not perfect. So you don't have to worry about yours being perfect. All right, so that's the basic shape. The next thing you're gonna do is in the center here, over the edge. So this is the example I'm using. So over the edge here, you're gonna add 4 circles. So there's gonna be, so you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna erase. So you're gonna draw a circle there. Make a little bit of space, circle there. Circle. Circle. Now they don't have to be perfect either. If you want to make them a little bit more even, you can spend some time doing that. They do not need to be perfect. In the side of those, you need to erase the side of the ship and the mast that we drew over, because we want to make sure that those look like they are in front of the mast and in front of the side of the ship. So these are going to be closer, okay? I'm going to also erase this part here because I don't want that in there. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is you're going to start adding details. Those details can be done in any way that you choose, okay? I'm going to make my ship look like it has some wooden parts to it. So about right here, I'm gonna draw a curve shape, and then I'm gonna draw a curve shape over here. I'm gonna double that line so that I know that that is supposed to be something I'm gonna color in different later. Now, I'm going to draw a line right here that shows kind of like a detail mark. I'm going to do the same thing over here, where it also has a detail mark. And then I'm going to draw lines that go across to represent different slats in the wooden ship. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do an angle lines like this across there, because when they built boats back then, they used an angle pattern where they would crisscross wooden pieces inside. So the outside would be going one direction, the other side would be going another direction, and that would seal the boat, and it would be more likely to last longer and float longer without using metal or wax or anything. Okay, so I'm just quickly drawing mine in. You can take some more time, add your details, and make it a little bit nicer. Inside your shields, you can make all 4 shields exactly the same, or you can change them up. So you can do something where it's simple and it has like a star shape or a sun shape on the inside. and a little border around it. You can do one that has a thicker border and just crisscross in the center. Don't make these too small because we're going to be painting these in, and when you paint them in, you're going to lose some of your detail. So maybe something like this, a little bit larger, star shape, and I don't know, kind of like a tree shape. Okay, then you can add details in the ends of the ship too. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to follow the curve of the tail of my ship. And then inside here, I'm just going to do some overlapping loops because they would carve these very intricately, where they would have lots of little tiny details. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oh, I forgot a part I wanted to do. I want to imitate what I've drawn on the back part of my ship to the front part of my ship. And then I'm going to overlap again with some loops just to finish that up. Okay, so that's the basic drawing for our long ship. In the background of your long ship, you need to add your horizon line, and the horizon line goes all the way across, but do not draw through your ship. So I'm going to start mine here. I didn't line it up right. It's okay. And then I'm going to keep going this way. So that's my horizon line. That is where the water in the sky or the water in the ground are going to be touching each other in the back part of my picture. So I haven't decided what I want to put in the background. I might just have it sky. You can add mountains and then sky behind the mountains. You can put in a sunset, that's fine. You can add details in the water. So down in the front, there might be some more waves that are coming across here. So if I'm drawing the waves on here and I want them to look like they're in front of the ship, I need to come back through and erase the parts that's overlapping the ship so that I remember when I'm painting these in not to do that part, because you want to make it look like it's in the water. You can do some more waves. So the ones that are closest to you are going to be more detailed. The ones in the back might be smaller waves and they're going to disappear a little bit. See how I made them less detailed as I went farther back? Continue that on the whole way on your paper. Less detailed waves as you get to the back. So then you have your foreground, you have your middle ground, and then you have your background. You can choose how you want your background to look. If you want to add big mountains in the background, you can add big mountains in the background, and then you can add a sunset behind them later. Do I have any questions at this time about what we just finished? Okay, for the rest of class, I want you to finish adding in your details.